So, as I said, 2 months back, this was primarily viewed as a perk graciously given by the supervisor. Today, what we are seeing is something totally different, and going forward, work from home is it's evolving into a business model by itself. And why am I saying that? I'm looking at this primarily from the perspective of who are the different interested stakeholders, if we may want to call it that, when we look at any organization or an enterprise, right? One is the organization or the company itself. Okay, companies have started seriously considering, and all of us are aware of this, work from home as a permanent or at least hybrid model for their workforce. And that's what we keep hearing, right? Because they are seeing benefits in terms of cost saving on the space, the real estate, and all of that. Another key stakeholder for us would typically be the governments, right? We would probably see a situation where governments would actively start promoting companies to go in a work from home model, because it would be a less load on their government infrastructure. Um, Fuel saving for one, less carbon emission. So it's very positive for the government also, right? So they are going to be equally keen to promote this. The other very key stakeholder, and which was something that all of us were looking at with a lot of um, how should I put it, a fair degree of concern, is customers, because we've always had this challenge of customers not feeling very comfortable in a work from home situation. They would want you to be in the office premises and so on. We are seeing wider acceptance now from customers. And why is this happening? Because practically we have seen nil business continuity disruption, right? And that's what has made customers look at this as a very viable option. And of course, finally, employees, right? Who have always been active promoters of the work from home model. There's more time available, no commute, transportation costs, work life balance, so on and so forth. So, if you look at it from the perspective of all of these key stakeholders, this seems to be a model that would actively get promoted going forward. Now, if this is here to stay as a business model, then what are some of the organizational changes that are likely to come about? So this is why I'm calling this as a transformation of some sort. And this is going to be across various dimensions. If we look at structurally, we're probably going to see more flat organizations as we go forward, because and I'm sure all of us have started experiencing that in the 2 months that we have started working from home. We are probably connecting to a larger section of our teams than what we used to connect earlier, right? We probably just spoke to our one downs, or maybe their one downs. Now we see a larger participation, and therefore there is a likelihood to go into more flat organizational structures. It's kind of like breaking the walls and leveling the playing field, right? and um, and this leveling of the playing field is actually also bringing about a very interesting behavioral change that we are noticing in the organization, where employees are actually taking up more accountability, right? And when with all of these tools and technologies available, there is nobody waiting for somebody else or the boss to schedule a meeting, or a secretary to schedule a call, and so on, right? We're seeing people taking direct ownership, scheduling calls, calling for meetings themselves, and so on and so forth, because the technology is at their fingertips, and so it's open to everybody, and it's become a level playing field. So one is on the structure. The second I see is the business itself getting virtualized. What do I mean by this? Certain aspects of the business, we were very hesitant to actually go remote. We always felt that it would work only in a physical face-to-face mode. Um, I'm taking an example of our organization Intellect itself. For us, one of the very key aspects is our product walkthroughs or product demos. We call them walkthroughs, which are product demos. It's a make and break kind of a phase, because a lot depends on the experience that the customer gets as part of the walkthrough, which decides how he would want to take it forward. And that's something we've always wanted to be there with the customer, facing the customer, and so on. We've now started doing customer demos or product walkthroughs virtually, and it's been extremely successful. We've had no issues at all. So, which means that virtualization certain aspects of the business. The other is going to be a higher dependency on systems and tools to make decisions, obviously, because you're going to be heavily dependent on information available in systems because of the fact that you're not going to be always physically present with teams. There's going to be more decentralization and distribution of work. Probably new norms will be put in place for rewards and recognition. And obviously, all of us are very much aware, definite focus, greater focus on privacy and security. So that's how I see the transformation happening for this model. Over to you, Sharda.
Thank you, Sudha. I will come back to you with a question later, but I want you to be prepared for this answer. Are the business sales closure cycles getting smaller? It's a question I had when you were talking about. So let's come back to you, come back to your answer after we have Uma talking about what are the professional things that we need to do. Uma comes from a background in which she has been working in large organizations, and she has been part of the social organizations too. In both the worlds, she has been having a smooth sailing. And she has been observing a lot of things that when we are talking about in a professional environment, we are aware of. But there are a lot of others who are not aware of how should they present themselves. What are the professional do's and don'ts that each one of us have to maintain when we are coming for a Zoom meeting. So that's a perspective that Uma is going to bring on to the table. And over to you, Uma, for telling us what we should do and what we shouldn't do.
Thank you so much, Shardaka, and thanks everyone, and also for putting up the first glitch, which can be the first challenge for every one of us on the connectivity part when we're working from home. So thank you for coming back and proving that whatever may be the glitch, we will come back. So starting with being a professional who had the privilege to work from home in most of the instances, and also being on the global projects across all time zones, I have learned this trick of the trade to work from home effectively very early in life. And probably I'll just add a few things here. The first and the foremost thing is to set the expectations right. Expectations right, not just for the people at home, but also for your business partners. Because having a kid running over to you when you're working on something, you don't need to just boo away. Please understand it's a new reality world over. Your stakeholders, your customers, your account teams across the globe do understand that it is a challenge. So in a pandemic like this, we have to accept the new normal and set the expectations right. Just give the child time for a minute and say what they need, settle them in and get back to work. That's much easier than trying to boo them away, so that you can always focus back on your work. And be grateful, because all of us today crib that we don't see our friends, we don't have anything to socially interact. But be grateful, at least we have jobs. The more and more challenges, we do still have jobs and pay packets coming in. So it's a greater blessing that we are able to work from home. So count that as a blessing, and do not make this as a negative aspect of life that you have to sit at your home and not see anyone. Focus and prioritize. This is just like how we used to do from even when we were working from home, right? So working from home doesn't give you that you sit with the pan on one side cooking and the other side on your laptop. 9 hours of work hours is work hours. Ensure that you do focus and prioritize. You finish all your domestic work before the work hours begin. Whatever may be the business work hours, ensure that you nail yourself to the work for the standard business hours. There is no compromise on that. How do you present yourself matters. It is necessary that you present yourself properly dressed when you are attending the client calls, when you are asked to be on a video conference. Don't just show up yourself. Ladies, please, no nighties are allowed. It is not the professional way to do. People don't understand that, you are cooking and managing work. They do appreciate you do multitasking and do work-life balance, but not during the business hours. It is no longer a fancy, because please understand, whether you work from home or from office, your focus for the 9 business hours for which we are paid, we have to prioritize ourselves. And as women or men, we need to understand that this is priority, that you understand that multitasking is appreciated, but multitasking with your personal things are not allowed. It's a strict no-no in a professional environment. The next and biggest thing is communicate. I always tell that, being curious, being in conversations is very important. So communicate with the people, the limited 2-3 faces that you see at home, satisfactorily, so that, you give them the space. All of us are at home, but how many of us really talk to our people at home? That becomes more a challenge. So communicate. At the same time, to your peer group, to your team, communicate, ask them for a coffee evenings where you just, no business, but you just talk for 5 minutes, understand what's happening to their mental health, and try to, balance from that perspective. That is very, very important, that you strike those right conversations. Never give up. Don't give up because you are feeling jittery for a single day, or you're finding it like, you're getting burnt out. Go take the breeze, go to your terrace, go for a walk, do whatever it is possible to rewind yourself. It's okay to be low. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be accepting that you don't interact, you don't dress up nicely. We people in Rotary are so used to dressing up for all events and going on weekends and socializing so much. And, partying with friends, visit to the temples, all that has become slowly and, a thing of the past, but it will do come back. But till such times, let us understand that this is also a phase of life which gives you more time to understand and do a self introspection of your own priorities. That is very important, so that you can balance yourself on your professional needs very, very strongly. Second, just now Sudha touched upon security and privacy. So Sharda, I would just take 2 minutes here.
Sure. Go ahead.
When you talk about security and privacy, the first and foremost challenge that all of us have is the scams that are coming in, the kind of scary things that are getting thrown into our WhatsApp feeds, or the kind of scams that come into our mail feed. So please understand to validate what is right and what is wrong. Understand the source of the mail and respond. Don't, why this is very important, because what you're letting into your system, you're actually letting into your entire infrastructure. As an infrastructure specialist, I have seen this. One random mail has caused a malware attack across the largest shipping company in the world, which had to go in for a complete shutdown and 90 days of reinventing the whole thing. So please be very careful of the scam mails that are coming in. Second is, keep your devices updated. The only connect of you with your organizations is your devices. So periodically, you update your devices and keep them handy. And also mind your browsing history. It's very, very important what we browse. Please remember that our systems are given for us for official use. So whom you allow to access the systems are very important. You don't allow your family or guests to access your systems without any authorization or a real purpose. I would suggest that we actually keep our official systems separate and only for business purpose. That's very important. And next and the foremost thing is, we all have data access, and it is our responsibility to keep the client data very secure. There are certain bank projects where it's required to be on a remote connectivity, and at that time you do not do any other browsing. So please be very conscious of the NDAs that you have signed. Please be very conscious of what information that you can actually even have it in your local systems. Okay, and the next most important thing is be mindful of the data privacy and confidentiality. Please don't litter information on a paper and leave it at home. You may think that it's okay, but it's not actually okay. Then be smart about using the tools, what tools you have, what tools you can actually use, how effectively you can use. For example, we have moved from same time to Skype very recently. So all of us have learned how to actually make calls, make conferences using Skype. So if there is a new tool that is enabling your productivity at work, learn it properly and try to use it smartly. The final thing that I want to touch base upon as part of the security and privacy is the wireless home connectivity. All of us do access any kind of access security and password protected wireless networks, but please be sure that your wireless networks are encrypted and they're not actually available in the public domain for your neighborhood, which is more important because this is where your business runs. So I think, Sharda, I just summed up probably the second part of the emergency or BAU mode. As a professional, I'll talk in the next set. Thank you, Sharda.
Thank you, Uma. That was fantastic. Before I go on to Vikram and then ask him a few questions, I would like to get to Vasugi because she needs to keep her timing. And another 20 minutes, I'm very conscious of it, Vasugi. So we are talking about, see, you touched upon how stressful it will be. It is for both men and women, it is stressful. And how do you think we should cope up? That's my first question. Second question is, do you think we can get a productivity back? Because right now, you know, all those people who have been working from home with regard to technology, the kind of the productivity was very high when it was initially open for work from home. But now that fatigue is settling in. So where do we balance that out as a work from home professional in an IT industry? If you take the other industry where people have to be on their feet and then do the work.
Sharda, can I answer one by one?
Sure.
Okay. So first question is, how do you manage the stress?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So see, I'm not saying that working from home is very, very stressful. But what I'm saying is there are for few people, it has become stressful, which was not earlier. Because earlier you are the only person who was working from home and others would have been out of home. So you had your own space and privacy and maybe your productivity would have gone up. But now, especially with children, because you can have a working hours where you can plan everything, 9 o'clock, 9 to 5 o'clock, you plan everything, you finish all your domestic work, everything. But children, their needs are different, their maturity level is different, so their requirements are different. So sometimes when as an employee, you want to become very productive and you just want to prove yourself, that may has a lot of chances to create toxic atmosphere at home. That is what I am talking about. Toxic in the sense, children may complain that she's always in front of the laptop. In fact, it happened. One of the corporate, associate, that she said that the son broke her office laptop because he was so frustrated. He was so frustrated because there's no outdoor activity, nothing. Children, children, they have a lot of extra energy. So if it is not channelized properly, that will take a different form. So for her, and maybe as I earlier said, senior citizens at home. So you know that their mentality, they are also like children. So that frequent attention from the person, because now they know this person physically present here. Okay, so however you organize yourself, if you don't have the proper understanding and support system at home, you will be definitely, your productivity will go down and you will be totally under stress. So that's what I said. When we reach the stage of acceptance, where not only you, because in our culture, and you say whatever it is, you need not be in a joint family. It may be a nuclear, but that influence of joint family or how you extend the support to the joint family still there exists. So when you accept the situation, okay, this is how it is going to be. It's always work from home. There's no more commuting, no more going to office. So if you, unless and otherwise you get a right support and right understanding among your family members, it is it's going to be very, very difficult. When I talk about the other gender, there are professors, senior professors who used to be very, very good at their academics, who are very, very new to this household chores. So they are forced in a situation where they have to do. Okay, it is not that every household that wife demands or spouse demands. When you see your spouse slogging and doing things, you also tend to do, but that gives them more stress. At the same time, they need to take care of their job, so they feel very unproductive, because from where that thought is coming is, I am not able to help my wife. I am not able to be supportive in this critical situation. The thought itself. I'm not saying from reading from the articles or anything. It is my from my real clients. That's what happening. So when we understand and accept the fact this is going to be the new normal life, how you are accepting, and not only that one person, that all the family members. So definitely things will become better. Maybe that option of working from home, you may not have an option, you have to work from home, but still other things, your social activities, going out. So how you are going to balance? I think now it is too early to talk about it, because there are few industries, definitely, because as psychologists, where we talk about human relationships and feelings and emotions, how many houses have the physical space for you to work? There are 3 people working from home. How many people have the luxury of physical space? Just leave that emotional space and psychological space. Let us come to that. So how you can think that you can be productive? So there are so many challenges. So I think one at a time we need to take. But when we understand the fact this is how it is going to be, because as a human being, our basic need is survival. As long as now we are very much bothered about that, how we take care of our safety and security. So once that is being safeguarded, or that is being assured, then I think I mean, we have to look forward. I tell my team that as psychology, we are going to be damn busy, because I think 15 years back, I started Skype and online counseling for my NRI clients, which my colleagues are not comfortable. Even still, we say that we want to see the non-verbal cues, body language we want to observe. So please come for face-to-face session, which is not going to happen now. But still, there are clients who says that I'm not comfortable talking. Okay, I want to come and see you. I just please wait till this lockdown. So there are so many things. There are few aspects which we cannot be compromised at all. Already we are talking about interpersonal relationship. Already there are a lot of things happening in the society. There's no connection. So how we are going to handle all those things? So work from home, yes, it can be converted to positive as long as other aspects are taken care.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a very valid point, Vasuki, that you touched on. Stress, it is how we manage them, because this is a new normal and we have to accept it and make sure that we are able to do that.
See, and there has to be a lot. When we use the term stress, many of us just relate that with negative. There's something called eustress, positive stress. So the challenge is how you are going to make this as a eustress event, eustress. And how you are going to take care of the other needs of yourself. That's it. A person who is a fun-loving person, who really look for weekends to do all those things, which will give the energy to work for the next Monday to Friday. So what is the person is going to do? Now it is very temporary, okay, fine. But how long? Because everyone is at home. Everyone want to watch the TV. Everyone want to watch the Wi-Fi. Everyone want to watch the thing. So it's going to be a little tricky situation. Not only, but only thing we need to be happy that at least now I am alive to talk to you. That's it. Looking at the things happening around us. That is how we have to boost up our morale.
Thank you, Vasuki. I think you are going to get a lot of clients from us, from our circle itself, to make sure that we are having a positive